Thousands of packages, different destinations. Planning a destination wedding should feel magical. But with so many options out there, it can get overwhelming pretty fast.
Many packages look the same, so how do we truly choose the one that stands out?
Today in the Vowcast, we're going to break down these packages and tell you what's included, what's not, what our favorites are, and how to find the best fit for your budget, for your guest list, and for your dream day.
And we work with these resorts every day, and we know which packages are worth it. Let's get into it.
Yay! So what is a wedding package anyway? I'll start by saying resorts, all-inclusive resorts, and we can get a bit deeper in a bit on that. They bundle up like the most important aspects of a wedding. So you need to think that you compare a wedding package from what you would spend in your wedding at home, like for the day of. We call it day of, right? That's like our jargon here. We go, okay, one thing is the travel and the other thing is a wedding day, and that comes with a wedding package. So these resorts, they'll build in these aspects like your ceremony and some inclusions, and they'll make it so that you just need to go and pay a fee,
Right.
and have everything set up with all the infrastructure of the resort, which makes it super convenient, also cost effective because the resorts have all this already there, right?
Simplifying
Yeah,
everything
so they
for you.
simplify the whole thing. They make sure that it's really a good deal. If you compare a package in destination versus what you would spend at home, it definitely
Value for money.
yeah, it's a win-win. And the resort knows that you will bring guests, so there will be stays, there will be rooms. So this is how they build these packages. So, but there's a lot of them out there.
Right.
And there's differences, right?
There's a lot of, actually, in one resort, they have more than one package. So there are a lot to choose from. It can get overwhelming, but it's easy to break down.
Yes, and then let's touch on what symbolic and legal means, because this is like a first question we get all the time. Basically, these packages, I would say most, right? Don't generalize, but like the majority would come with a symbolic ceremony, which is efficient that the resort provides, or you can bring your own, maybe your uncle, to
Make it
to
personalized.
make it more personalized. And this means that there's no like legal paperwork behind that wedding. When you read legal, that means like there will be like a judge or someone coming from the country where you're getting married, and there will be a legal document that you are performing a marriage in that country. So most, I'd say, what, 99% of our weddings are symbolic. It's much easier to get married back at home at the courthouse and then just kind of get that.
Legal paperwork done at home.
Yeah, because then there's translations and all these things. And then you do the symbolic, which is still a ceremony. You still have your cocktail, your toast, your
beautiful event.
your wedding dinner, everything. And then there's the religious ones.
We do handle quite a bit of South Asian weddings, cultural weddings, and of course they have different requirements to a typical Western wedding. So the resorts generally do separate packages for those ones, including different things and different events according to the culture that they're working with.
Work on an episode on that if
Actually, yeah.
that's your interest. Let us know. Going back to wedding packages, some of them are completely oriented to a religious ceremony. Like there's resorts that will have a salvation package, which includes all your events, and it's a little bit of a different layout than a symbolic one.
Also Catholic as well. They have separate, not necessarily separate packages, but separate requirements for Catholic weddings.
Make sure you bring that up early on and you think about it. Like super, super important.
Just another note, the resorts generally do have Catholic chapels. Not all of the resorts, but there are resorts that have Catholic chapels on site for you to be able to do the Catholic weddings also.
Requires some paperwork, so
For sure.
we can't get dive into that in another episode. We have the packages. Now, we talk always all-inclusive. There's also the option of European plan. For those of you that don't know the difference, all-inclusive resorts means you pay a fee. That includes your meals, your drinks, your tips, any service. You just pay up front and you go in.
Sorry, Ellie, this is separate to the packages. So we're now talking about the resort itself.
Thanks for clarifying that, because there are also resorts in this area, for example, here in the Mexican Caribbean, where they have European plan as well, which means you pay your boarding, you pay your room, and then you buy your food along the day.
Your food,
At the
your
restaurants,
drinks.
you pay, and it's a different layout. I would say most of the weddings that happen here are the easy route on all
All
inclusive.
inclusive, yeah.
It's much more streamlined, like everything is there. You don't have to worry about your guests and who needs to pay for what and, ooh, I took care of that dinner. You don't have to worry a lot about it. There's also perks for the couples, usually with all-inclusive resorts, but there are also European plans at some properties where if you don't wanna, buy the all-inclusive way, then you can just have your venue at the resort. Some people can stay elsewhere
Yeah.
and handle it that way. I don't wanna be biased. Usually those European plan resorts are also a little bit more
High end. They are high end, upscale. Actually, in some cases, sometimes the European room rate is the same, or yeah, as the all inclusive rate. So it's definitely for higher end properties,
private maybe.
private, maybe more exclusive, luxury kind of style. But you can also get exclusive luxury style in an all
In
inclusive
all-inclusive.
resort.
That's the thing. There's, like, a huge, um, range from, like, very affordable to, like, super upscale where you still don't have to worry about who's having
Yeah.
breakfast where.
Exactly, and some of these all-inclusive properties have even, beautiful à la carte, dining. It's not your typical buffet style, so there are a lot of
There's a lot
options.
out there that are called gourmet
Gourmet
inclusive.
inclusive, yeah.
So you don't expect, the big buffet with a ton of food that's been there for a while. It's, like, nice, fresh, show cooking,
Right.
and all-inclusive. Alright, so I vote all-inclusive. I think that's just the easiest way. That's how most of our couples do it. It does take a lot of weight off you.
Yes.
But if you really are not looking for that, there's also options out there, probably with a private planner, and like talk to your wedding specialist to show or to ask for help exactly where you think you will want to go, the route you'll go.
Do you need to choose the destination first?
Do you need to choose a destination
I
first?
don't think you need to. A lot of people come to us usually having one or two in mind. Um, I think with this, there's a lot of factors to consider, but one of them is travel for your guests, flights. Um, it really will help you kind of narrow down the destination and what's convenient for them.
But talking packages, it doesn't matter, I think,
Absolutely not. Packages,
because
no.
most of the chains have the same
Same
package
package.
throughout, the
Yep.
countries they work on. So you'll find very similar packages of like a dreams property in Mexico, then in Costa Rica, then in DR. So I don't think destination is driven by the package.
No.
I think you're right though. Destination is something you really need to give a good thought.
Yes.
We've had a lot of cases where they fall in love with a property and they're going through with everything, and then they realize that there's no direct flight from home or from the cities that their guests are coming from, and it makes the cost super high. So couples feel bad about that. So important, I think, destination. I mean, unless you have a strong reason why this destination or that destination, it's the first thing, one of the first things you decide. It won't matter where you go. Thinking about a package,
Right.
you will get what you need.
Yeah.
I think anywhere.
And you can come to your specialist and say, look, these are my main requirements. It might be that you want that white sand, blue sea. So, that rules out some destinations. So you kind of narrow down
I
the
need a
search with
sunset.
exactly.
That rules out some destinations. We don't get sunsets in Cancun. We get them in Vallarta or in Cabo. So, yeah. Okay. So I would say no. Destination,
You don't have to pick
you
it
don't
in
have
advance.
to pick your package based on destination. Now, where are the best value destinations?
Oh, this is a good one. I love it. Um, I think for sure Mexico, the Caribbean side,
Mexico.
yeah, is definitely good value for money.
Yeah.
Good bang for your buck. You get excellent service, excellent quality for the cost.
And we're close to the US, so like direct flights for most cities. I'd say best value destination would be Cancun because of the amount of flights we have a day. I think there's more than 400 flights a day from the US. So there's a lot of direct flights. It'll be cheaper to fly to Cancun than to probably Cabo or than to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
I do know that from like if we think in order, I'd say Cancun first.
Yes.
And then Puerto Vallarta, with a catch though, because there's not a lot of direct flights. So you need to look into that before. I mean, it's okay to do a stopover, but for some people, like, if you're traveling through the whole country, like, it might be that, you need a day or 2 to rest when you get there, so is it worth? And then I would say DR.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree, 100% agree. Those are the 3 kind of top
And the beaches
orders.
in the DR. So, like, Cancun, Caribbean, beautiful blue, white sand. DR, Caribbean, beautiful blue, ocean, white sand, great, like, bang for the buck. In the Pacific side, in Vallarta, it's just the mountains are so beautiful. So, like, it's green, lush,
And the
and
sunsets.
then the sunsets. So think about that. I'd say in that order, Cabo. We didn't mention Cabo because Cabo's it's in the higher end, also less connected airport. So if you're nearby, if you're in California, I think there's direct flights from Phoenix. So that's fine. But then otherwise, you'll need to think of that. And the stays there are a bit pricier.
They are. It's not often a swimmable beach either, so that also can be a deal breaker, but, beautiful destination as well.
Yes. And also, we just said that some countries like have like same brand has the same package, but watch out because it can change quality,
Yes.
you know? Even between resorts from the same brand, you might have nicer beach in one, or I can say I'm a Mexican, super proud, but like we have great service in Mexico, great infrastructure. You get a lot of like variety of food, and your buffets are huge.
Yeah.
You go sometimes to an island, it's a bit more limited,
Yes.
and it's okay. That doesn't mean it's bad, but
No, of
It-
course, it's just the
it's
resources.
factors to
Yep.
consider. And the big question, Win, how much do they cost?
How much do packages cost? I mean, you do have kind of from budget to luxury packages, and they all have different inclusions for different fees, right? So um, if you're looking at a budget-friendly package, you can definitely get it. Then you also have kind of luxury high-end, which has more inclusions in the package, but for a higher cost, right?
We were
What do you
doing some
think? We were
numbers.
doing some numbers,
I
yeah.
think I think you need to know that baseline has to be around $210 per
Per head.
person. And I'm talking about these 3 events that are the common ones, which is ceremony, cocktail hour, and dinner reception.
Not including the stay, just the packages we're
Yes,
talking
for
about.
the day of. And you need a budget at least that.
Yep.
And that's with super essentials. We'll get into what's included in that. And I would say if you want to think like proper with dance floor and the extras and like feeling comfortable, then bring that up to 350.
Yeah, I think 350
Like
per head
times
is
that to your number of guests, and that's around what you will get in a package.
Yep, I agree.
All right. So what's included?
Yeah. So look, for your as Ellie was saying when we were talking about doing some math, 200 per head, we're talking setup of ceremony, cocktail, reception, usually an all-white setup. What I mean by all white, so white tablecloths, round tables, white chairs for the ceremony, white chair setup, and it includes open bar and food. A reception dinner. Usually 3-hour reception, typically your ceremony 30, 40 minutes.
But no dancing.
No
Like
dance
this
floor.
is a reception dinner. It usually comes also with the toast right after at the
Right.
ceremony and a cake. So like those are the essentials. But what's not included often? Dance floor,
DJ, lighting,
photography,
videography, hair and makeup.
extra decor. Some packages will come with like your bouquet, maybe the boutonniere, and one set of flowers, but it doesn't include any more decor.
Yep.
So I think what else? Legal fees
Legal fees.
could be something.
Premium venues
Oh,
as
yes.
well. Most resorts have premium venues that require an extra fee. Usually it's because they're more privatized or
Super popular.
very popular. Yeah, good locations of the resort. So that's something to consider as adding
So
on.
what's included? Ceremony, cocktail, reception with very essential everything, and then you build up from this. So the 210 we mentioned is like essential
Yep.
without adding anything.
Right.
And then building up to it another 150, 200 per person, and then you add, everything else.
Right.
I've been doing some research also on weddings at the US, like that's still way within, a good because
If you're comparing.
yeah, if you compare a wedding at home and you're still hesitant about how to decide, look how much the day of is going to cost versus the day of here, and the percentage is way, way lower still. obviously there's a travel to pay, but then who doesn't want to get a vacation? So we all deserve it.
And actually, often when you do, and I'm sure this is another episode, but when you do a wedding at home, people still have to travel.
Yeah,
So,
true. Everyone's like scattered.
yes,
Always.
exactly.
I have a question. What is your favorite package?
Oh, this is a good one. I feel like the Eternal Love package is one of my favorites because it's actually it's part of Dreams and Secrets brand, and they all have an Eternal Love package. Most of them they include the same thing, different cost depending on which resort you choose. I love it because it has, besides from the ceremony cocktail reception, it has snippets of other things. So other things, I mean,
Music.
music. It
Live
has
music.
like in the cocktail hour, they do like in Mexico locations, it's Mexican trio. So something really nice, like an added touch for your guests to experience while they're in destination. Also, hair and makeup for the bride is included. You also get a snippet of photography, videography. So coverage of your ceremony, photos and video, and in a photo album is included. Of course, you can upgrade that. You're
Yeah, of
going to want to
course.
upgrade it.
But you already have like a base
A
starting
little
point
bit of those extras.
I love it.
I love it for that reason.
And it goes in line with the pricing we mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely does. It starts at 20 guests, and some people are like, oh, it's only 20 guests, but you can add additional guests to it. And doing the math, it is in line with those pricing.
All right.
We
I love that one. I also love Garden Blooms from Palladium
Oh
brand
yeah, me too.
because they include a lot. They include a hair and makeup trial, not the one the day of, but like it's rare to see a trial as well. I love it. Some couples do it for the rehearsal dinner, and then you're done. They have it for 100 guests, which as a Mexican, we like big weddings, and I think like most packages that start at 20, yeah, it's okay. Like we do the math, and your specialist will help you find out exactly how much it'll end up, or the good
But to
ballpark.
already have it included
Yeah,
and
but to have
showing
100
you,
is just easy. You're
it's
like,
really
oh,
easy.
no brainer. And they have a 4-hour dinner reception, which I absolutely love. They include a DJ.
They include a DJ, yeah.
So for
the
me,
4
that was
hours.
like so complete.
Yeah.
That I think you just add, maybe a venue if you end up picking one, and then just like some decor, dance floor, unless you're on a hard floor place, you don't even need that. So it's straightforward, and also it goes aligned entirely with the 210 or so per person. So it's fantastic.
A couple of packages that we mentioned, but just
But
know there's so many others.
many.
Yeah.
You need to talk to someone.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this gets super overwhelming.
Right.
I believe that talking to your specialist and explaining really like what is important to you, because this can, if you look out there and you start researching on your own, you'll see like, oh, cookie cutter, like, again, same thing. It's going to be a lot of the same if you don't, know the insides. So don't try this alone. It's like those kids programs. Don't try this at home. Don't try this alone.
Yeah, exactly. Love it.
You need some help. And honestly, there will be something that will be perfect for you. And if it's not there, you're going to build it up and you're going to make it happen, and it will be just truly joyful.
Exactly. Love it.
So hopefully this episode gave you some clarity, a bit of confidence, back, that you will get to find the right fit, and it gets hard at the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, getting started is usually the hardest part. We're here to cut through the clutter. Basically, there's a lot of clutter, but we're here to help with that. Keep you on budget, help you find a package that's actually going to fit your vision and your needs.
Yeah. Please click above to book some reach out for us. You can book a call with us, and you can set up a consultation so that we can make this dream wedding come true.
Hit subscribe or follow wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. And if you've got a question or special request, an episode you want us to cover, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know.
And if you still have questions about wedding packages, please put them on the comments. We'll be very happy to answer them, and make sure you have exactly what you need for this big day.
Thank you.
Thank you.